Hey everybody, I'm Ben Yee.
I'm Melissa Stein.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about a congressional race today. We're talking about what's going on in New York State in the, which district?
12th, I think.
Which is a race between Carolyn Maloney, who's an incumbent, and this new guy, Suraj Patel, who is a lawyer. He lives in the East Village. He doesn't have political experience. He's running a campaign right now against her. And we were talking about how there's been some ugly stories in the news.
It's gotten very negative very quickly.
It's gotten very negative very quickly. There's been sexism charges. There have been racism charges, and what I didn't know is that there's actually people who dig this up as part of their job.
Yeah, of course.
To make the opposition not look good. So
I think it's funny because the campaigns really haven't even gotten into it. They're not both on the ballot yet. I suspect they both will be on the ballot.
Right.
But who are they convincing now to don't sign this person's
petition? Right. Yeah. So I was just really interested to find out that this happened. So it seemed like she's running her race, he's running her race, and all of a sudden it's getting kind of bitchy.
Oh, right, of course.
So snippy here, and I saw pictures that from an Olympics. How do these things come about, and how do they make it into the news?
So there's this thing on every campaign. Well, not every campaign, but any real big campaign for national office or oftentimes state offices, there's a department called Opposition Research, colloquially referred to as OPPO. And what you do is OPPO.
Okay, OPPO. Learn something new.
And what OPPO is, it's a team or an individual who's hired to go through the history of your opponent and find bad things.
So they're looking for red flags.
They look for red flags or things that can be spun into problems. So in the modern era, that means going through somebody's entire Facebook wall, getting access to them as a friend, or finding a friend and getting access to that person's account so you can go look at all their stuff, their Instagram. Of course it's sneaky. This is
modern politics.
This is not modern. This has been going on for a long time.
Right.
It's everything that wasn't lying. Yeah.
Right.
This is what you might call the black ops of politics, or the dark arts, as people refer to the dark arts sometimes.
Right.
When they're talking about the dark arts, they're really talking about PR hits and press and using opposition research to tarnish somebody.
So the goal is to tarnish somebody, but it's also getting, I guess, another news cycle. When you bring these things up, but getting people to talk about it.
Well, the way you do it is to dominate the news cycle. That's the goal, right, of your opposition research, is to find something that's going to be a big enough story to dominate the news cycle or multiple cycles and sink this person. And this is what the Steele dossier is about, right? The Steele dossier on Donald Trump, this guy Michael Steele was hired first by the Republicans to sink Donald Trump, and then hired by the Clinton campaign.
Right.
And all he was is an opposition researcher. He goes out and he is a former British intelligence officer.
Right. So he's just looking for dirt.
He uses all of his skills to manipulate contacts and find dirt. Sometimes that's following financials. Sometimes it's acquiring video of the person you're trying to
We've all heard about
bring
that
down.
videotape.
Yep. Sometimes it's creating video. Sometimes it's catching somebody in a sting operation.
Right.
Didn't
that Analytica company,
Cambridge Analytica.
Right. They just came out and said that they were getting information by they would leash women off on you or put people into compromising situations.
Yes, right. They would bribe people to get
data,
stuff.
Right.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, so that's all OPPO. Kind of.
Cambridge Analytica was slightly different. You might consider that because they were trying to influence voters through targeted ads and using data. I'm not sure if they were actually researching negative things about Hillary Clinton. It's the people who are doing the research, though, that becomes the opposition research. And then there's multiple avenues for exposing that to the public. One is through social media, and the good old days, it would just be through the press. You would leak things.
Right. But now you can just go on Twitter and say anything you want to, and it can pick up. It can be picked up.
Yeah, you used to need a credible source or something.
Yeah.
Like the New York Post does a lot of this. They'll just go search for a rumor or what have you.
Right.
And then if you
Salacious
feed it to
headlines.
them, boom, they'll print it.
Right. Entertaining cover stories when you walk by a newsstand.
Right, but when these stories come out of nowhere, it's not necessarily because newspapers have been digging into Suraj Patel because this is such a big race. It probably came from opposition research.
And that is fascinating something I never heard about before today, and something else to look out for. You know, one thing I've learned in this new age of politics is to always source check. To not take something at face value, but to always double check my sources to make sure what I'm reading is actually true, and check in with credible sources.
Yes, but opposition research is different from lying. Opposition research is about finding true things and
Finding true
making
things
a
and
making
then,
a deal about them.
Like making the slant. All right.
Yeah.
So I wish that there was some kind of filter where you could, you know, all right, so you can even fact check that. But maybe, you know, think about it in a race when something's going really negative, perhaps that it's somebody who's doing that on purpose to make the other person look bad and sort of take stories like that.
It's most likely
right.
that somebody
So,
did
like
that on purpose.
Grain of salt, another layer of politics in this country.
There you
I
go.
mean, I guess all over the world.
Oh, definitely all over the world. That's
All-
a common tactic.
All right. On that kind of depressing note, see you soon.
I mean, technically, it's the truth.
I know, but still sad.
Laters.